Hey guys, it's Luna. I haven't posted videos for the past 2 weeks because of what's going on in the world. I feel like that would be really insensitive for me to act like everything's normal because it's not. You've probably been living under a rock if you don't know what's going on, and if you don't know what's going on, I really highly suggest that you educate yourself. This movement is something I'm really passionate about and something that really woke me up from my white privilege and from my comfortability in being white. It's an uncomfortable thing to know that you have been privileged your whole life and that you have benefited from white supremacy. Right now is not the time to stay silent. I know that it can be hard. I know sometimes you don't feel like you're educated enough or you're eloquent enough or you're just worried that you're gonna say the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to educate yourself. If you have empathy in your heart to take risks and help the people of color, whether that be protesting or speaking out on your social media platforms and educating others. Maybe that's donating. That being said, I know that I have a larger following than most, and it's up to me as an influencer to actually do some real influencing. Even if you have a small following, it's up to you to speak out. You never know if one person out there doesn't know what's going on and then they finally do, or you never know what happens. Me being an influencer, I have a platform in which I can give people of color a voice, and that's what I want to do in this video. So as you guys know, I'm a dancer. I've danced all my life, done ballet mostly. Something I never really looked back on was how my white privilege benefited me in the dance world. It was so easy for me. You know, I go online and I have tights that match my skin color. I have pointe shoes that match my skin color. Everything is accessible to me. And something that was brought to my attention was a petition that was going around to demand Block Dancewear, which is a brand, to offer shade ranges of pointe shoes. And it never really occurred to me how unfair it is that that's not even offered. The ballet uniform was based on the fact that the tights would match your skin color and the pointe shoes would match your skin color. As far as I'm concerned, tights are light pink, pointe shoes are light pink. So who is that matching? Only the people that are white. And even in training, I would read about Balanchine, who founded the New York City Ballet and founded the Balanchine technique. And he would write, your skin should be white as porcelain. So with all of this stuff brought to my attention, I really wanted to get educated myself, and I was curious on what it feels like to be a black dancer in the industry. I really want to know how they feel and how they have been treated, and I think I've been living comfortably in my little bubble of white privilege. I feel like it's up to me to get educated and up to me to try and fight for change. I reached out to a couple black dancers in the industry that I know and people that have always inspired me, and I just wanted to hear their experiences. So you're going to hear from Rachel, Jacqueline, Danny, Matthew, and Savannah. They'll introduce themselves. And I came up with questions that I personally wanted to know. They're going to be taking over my video today and educating you on their experiences. I also wanted to say that all ad revenue made off this video will be donated to various justice organizations chosen by the dancers that are talking in this video. So I will link that down below, all the ones that I will be donating to. I hope that we can all come off of this video learning something new and wanting to fight for change. So let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm a principal dancer with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I'm a dancer with New York City Ballet.
Hey guys, I'm Matthew Deloach. I am from Louisiana and I live in New York City, and I am a dancer.
Hi, I'm Savannah Durham and I'm an apprentice with New York City Ballet.
I'm Daniel Durrett. I'm 23 years old. I'm currently an artist with Boston Ballet.
Have you felt that the dance world has not given you equal opportunities or a fair chance?
In the dance world, when it comes to equal opportunity and fair chance, when it comes to jobs and classes and rates and just things like that, I personally feel like I have had an advantage, and that is because I am a male. Even though I am a male in the dance industry, I still have to work 20 times harder than others. And I have to be 20 times better than the person next to me to even get someone to look at me because I am a person of color.
It wasn't until I started going away for different summer intensives that the reality of the dance world, and more specifically my race in it, showed its face. Not only were some of the young dancers participants in reminding me of my blackness by giving me backhanded compliments like, you're like really good, even though we were both accepted into these prestigious institutions, but some of my teachers gave similar reactions to my level of skill and talent in dance. Now, not all of these responses were malicious or meant to single me out, but for a 13-year-old girl, it was a wake-up call. Ballet wasn't a field yet familiar and altogether comfortable with the black body. Some choreographers wanted to acknowledge my talent, but didn't know where to put me in their pieces. I was constantly reminded that in some situations, I represented my entire race.
Have you ever experienced racism in the workplace from fellow dancers, staff, or audience members?
I've definitely experienced some racism in school. Kids would always make comments like, you are only picked because you're black, or you only got the role because you're the only boy in the class. And it just made me feel like that my skin color was the only thing that mattered, and not my technique, and not my hard work that I put into it. As a ballet dancer, you have to be so disciplined, and you have so much to sacrifice to get to where you want to go.
So when it comes to personally experiencing any racism in the workplace, in the studios, on a job, anything, there has been a couple of times, like there was instances where my formation had to change. Like I had to change spots in a formation because we couldn't have two people of color partnering together, and it would pull focus from the entire group and what was going on in the dance as a whole. And I just think that's so off. We're all dancers, we're all here. It really shouldn't matter if the color of my skin isn't what the majority is.
So the story I wanted to share in particular was one that happened to me when I first got my apprenticeship with New York City Ballet. I was walking from the Rose Building Studios, which are on the other side of Lincoln Center, towards the Coke Theater across Lincoln Plaza. And I was approached by a woman that I knew personally. She was a friend of many of the dancers, a fan of the arts. And she came up and congratulated me, gave me a hug, and told me that she was super proud of me for using my platform and my experience as a Black person to get into the company. And I was a little bit taken aback because I was happy she was congratulating me. I understood that she wanted to just congratulate me as best she knew how to, but the fact that she alluded to me basically being the token Black kid taken that year from the School of American Ballet, I did not know how to process that.
Have you ever felt as if you were tokenized by your schools, companies, etc. based off of your skin color?
I was definitely tokenized because more often than not, I was one of 2 Black people in some institutions, including the dancers, teachers, choreographers, and administrative staff.
As my apprenticeship progressed that year, that stuck with me for a little while, because every time I stepped out on stage, I was thinking, oh, do they see me as just a token person of color from an audience point of view? Am I just here because of the way my skin looks? Am I just here because it looks really good on promotional campaigns? Is this not because I'm good enough to actually dance with this company? Is this because I'm not really qualified to do any of these things?
In the dance world, over the course of many, many years, I've always experienced being the token Black boy. I understand the intentions are to add diversity and things like that, but at the end of the day, I was just another token Black boy.
If you have experienced racism, tokenism in the dance world, what made you keep going and persisting?
Growing up as a ballet dancer, I had dancers I looked up to and admired and loved their dancing, but none of them looked like me. Growing up, I don't think I really thought much of the lack of representation in the ballet world, but I think it got to a certain point where I was like, why is there no one that looks like me? And most importantly, why are there not any principal dancers? And why aren't there more soloists? That really drove my passion for ballet. And I want young girls to have what I didn't have much of. And I want there to be more of us. I want there to be more Black dancers in the ballet world. Being a Black dancer and being an apprentice with New York City Ballet, it's kind of taken me a while to realize that I can now be a role model and young Black girls can look up to me. And that's all I've wanted as a ballet dancer. I remember when I was younger, after my first summer course at SAB, New York City Ballet was a company that I wanted to be in. And I remember thinking, I want to be a Black dancer with this company because there are so few of us in the ballet world. As a young dancer, representation meant so much to me, even if I didn't even realize it at the time. So I'm so honored that people want to look up to me. It's such a privilege I didn't know I was deserving of. So I want to be a Black ballet dancer that other young girls can look up to and say, she looks like me, so that means I can do it too.
when you get to being at a professional level, there's a level of excellence you have to have regardless of your color, regardless of your race or your background. But then adding race and color and background back into it only deepens your artistry. It only deepens who you are and your identity, no matter if you're white, black, green, blue, or purple. Like, whatever color you are is a part of your artistic process, because as dancers, we're not just a blank canvas with some paint on it. We're the picture, we're the artist, we're the paintbrush, and then we work with collaborators like ballet coaches and choreographers, and we produce this beautiful art that's such an immersive experience that being a color, whatever color you are, whatever experience you have, only adds a deeper layer to that. And for somebody to say that you got into a company because you are this color is to take away a lot of that experience. It's to take away who you are, really. It's to strip you down to make you just be your race. And it takes away the hard work you put in. It takes away the sacrifices you've had to make. It takes away a big part of you. When they only see your color, that's like, it's so disheartening, because it means, oh, that's all you see of me. All of my worth is wrapped up in the skin tone you see of me. So that took a long time to, I think, really come to terms with, like, I'm here because I worked hard, because I made the sacrifices, because I pushed myself, because my teachers pushed me. Like, I'm here because I worked for it.
I never quit ballet because I knew that I needed to be one dancer of color out there helping younger boys like me know that they can make it, and know that they can make it as a professional dancer. You will experience, some uncomfortable things, and it definitely will be hard, but if you keep pushing and you keep going, you can definitely make it. And then you can also help more kids like you to keep going.
I obviously don't stop, and I just keep going on. And what helps me do that is me personally not investing energy into those people, those rude comments or anything like that, because I need to get where I want to be. And I can't do that if I have energy over here and over here looking at the comments or listening to what people are saying.
I love ballet, still do, but I didn't want to have that pressure and particular criticism throughout my professional life. So I chose to dance at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, where everyone could be different, and that made us uniform and unique at the same time. It was a place where you could be of any race, any gender, any sexuality, or any religion, and you still had the opportunity to either dance or choreograph.
I'm hoping now, after this Black Lives Matter movement, that people know that it's okay to be a dancer of color. And we finally have black and brown tights that match our skin tone, and not just like pink or white or black, the three generic ballet colors. We are making so much progress. There's still so much to go, but things are finally changing, and not becoming easier for us, but definitely, paving the way for a younger generation.
So I hope that if anybody out there is struggling with that same thing, that you not only, like, if there's somebody you can speak up to about it, tell them what's going on. If somebody's almost bullying you in this way, like, speak up about it, but also know that you're good enough to be where you are because you're good enough to be where you are. And the fact that you're of color, that you're black or whatever, is just another beautiful layer of who you are.
For all the young dancers out there who are black, brown, white, yellow, purple, red, blue, beige, whatever, you have a voice, and don't let anyone hold you back from expressing yourself through dance. There is a place for each and every one of you. And if you can't find that place, maybe you were meant to create it. Keep going. I'm rooting for you.
So I just want to thank Luna one more time for letting me be a part of this video and letting my voice be heard. If any of you guys want to follow me on any social medias, my Instagram and Twitter is just Matthew Deloach, and my TikTok is Matthew.Deloach.
So thank you so much, Luna, for giving me the opportunity to just share a little bit about my experience as a person of color in the ballet world. You're awesome. Your YouTube videos are so raw and vulnerable, and your bravery and courage to share your story and not be ashamed of it and not be afraid to just speak and talk about the hard things that nobody wants to talk about is so admirable. So thank you so much. And thanks again for letting me say my bit. Bye.